And that's why CM Punk's like a legend, because he just speaks his mind, and he kind of like blurred the lines between fake soap opera and like real life drama. So like that got me hooked on a completely different level, which years later, 13 years later, that was one of the best years in pro wrestling ever up until this year. Right now it is on fire. Like the best time to be a pro wrestling fan is in 2024. Because now they're partnered with the UFC, with Endeavor and TKO. I think it's like TKO Group Holdings or whatever, Holdings Group. Just a ton of revenue coming in for both WWE and UFC. I think they're putting on like multiple event weekends where like a UFC pay-per-view is going to be on a Saturday, WWE pay-per-view on a Sunday in the same city. So like they're putting those things together. But pro wrestling is my jam, man. Like I love just the storytelling aspect and all like the drama that comes with it.
Who are your top 5 pro wrestlers of all time?
Top 5 pro wrestlers of all time got to be Stone Cold Steve Austin, CM Punk, Chris Jericho, who's actually like my number 1 aspiring guest on the podcast. The reason I started the podcast at 17 was because of the guy named Chris Jericho. Stone Cold Steve Austin, CM Punk, Chris Jericho, Bray Wyatt, who unfortunately passed away last year. He was only 38. He was like the Stephen King of WWE. He was just an unbelievably charismatic and creative mind, and he just threw up everything that was in his brain into his characters. Like he had this like very like cult leader type character where like everybody kind of looked like they were in Duck Dynasty. He had like the giant beard, dreadlocks, kind of talked very like, it was kind of cool, but also kind of like creepy. He was in like a rocking chair that would creak back and forth, like just like kind of like horror vibes. And then he went away for a year, came back, and his new gimmick was that he was kind of like this like Blues Clues, Wiggles type like kid talk show host where like he dressed like Mr. Rogers and he was all like happy and giddy. And they did like these vignettes, like these videos of him in what they called the Firefly Funhouse, where he had like all of these puppets with him. He was like a legit like Mr. Rogers type talk show host. And week after week after week went by, and you're like, this guy was such like a really like weird and eerie character, and now they turned him into this. But as the weeks went on, you're like, oh, this is going to get dark at some point. And he had like this demonic alter ego that he called the Fiend, where he had like this demonic pale white mask, and he put on like yellow contacts, kind of like Sith eyes. And he was just like the creepiest. I'll pull up a picture for you. It was just like the creepiest alter ego character, and he was like completely indestructible. It would light him on fire and he would come back and kick everybody's ass. Like he was just probably one of the most mesmerizing and charismatic WWE superstars of all time.